Um, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey there, everybody. It's 80s Music Girl with her co-host, Lisa Marie. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
This is episode 2, Looking Back, a mother and daughter's retro jaunt through 80s music. That's a mouthful. We may have to change it. Before we get into our program, I just have to give a shout out to your brother, William, well, Michael, too. You know, we're all family. We'll have to get Michael on the show. I'm not quite sure. He remembers most of the 80s, I think. I want him to talk about his metal days of the 80s. That's what I
I
want.
know, right?
And then it was just like, okay, this is not like don't be hating or coming for me or whatever the hell you kids say out there. But I thought that was like the most monstrous thing you could possibly do to your mother. And then rap happened. And I'm like, no, go back to the metal. This is way too much. The metal was good. We like the metal. We like Ozzy. We like Iron Maiden. Go back to that.
Yeah, I know, right? Turn back the hands of time.
All right, exactly. Thank you, Cher. So there's been a lot of talk about the Weird Al movie and What Culture, which is one of those pop culture movie channels on YouTube, basically produced a whole segment talking about movies that are coming out this year that you're not ready for, and apparently that's one of them. Weird Al story. So I'm like, okay.
I actually watched a trailer for it yesterday, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not ready for that at all. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like there's a specific part, like, where he meets Madonna, and like anything after that, I don't think I could handle. Like, I was like already iffy, like
So,
just after watching a small part of it. So I was like, no,
uh,
I don't think I can do this. So I was like, I can't picture, because you have to picture Weird Al. You're not looking at Daniel Radcliffe. You're picturing Weird Al, and
yeah,
I can't, and I can't. You know, it's like no.
no, but it's hmm, yeah. Well, we'll get into that next week, hopefully. So
Yes,
I sent your brother a text message that we got to jump on this now. Get on that
for
bandwagon.
sure.
Well,
Yes.
it's so hot. But today we've got another hot topic. So then I'll wiggle. Uh, Today we're talking about favorite 80s movie soundtracks.
Hmm.
I'm going to let you go first because this will probably take up the entire program. But tell the audience what your favorite soundtrack is from an
You know
80s.
what? This
Uh,
is so funny. So after I suggested that, I obviously did a little homework, and I was like, oh, okay, let me see if I can remember. And like everything that I looked up, I was like, oh yeah, no, I know all that. I was like, these are all great. And it made me kind of realize that the 80s music soundtracks were like so epically wonderful that today everybody still knows all the songs. Like
yeah,
all of them.
yeah,
Like they're all epic. Like you take one song out of every single 80s movie, I bet you all the kids know which one it is. You know what I mean? Like it's all like
yeah,
awesomeness. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they were all really good. So it kind of made it really hard for me to pick one, but I'll tell you which one my favorite one is. I definitely because as much as I, rep 84 as the best music year, I'm sticking by it. Because there's two.
Oh,
There's Purple Rain,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then we got Footloose.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
very completely different movies,
Mm-hmm.
but still about music, which I love. And then, Prince, all hail, we're not worthy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
wonderful movie, music, album, everything, wonderfulness. And then, of course, Footloose just being, you know, a wonderful story as well. So, I mean, two different things, but it's just, it's still about music. Yeah.
I watched something on because I'm all on YouTube now, watching all these like trailers and videos for backstories of movies and things like that.
Mhm.
Besides being one of the top 10 dance movies of all time, Footloose, I don't know how much controversy was involved because it did involve religion and anti fun and anti
Yeah.
all of that stuff. But to this day, Kevin Bacon actually has a disclaimer. If he's at a wedding,
Yeah.
like it's pretty much in his I don't know say contract, but he will tell the venue beforehand, do not under
Under
any circumstances play the song Footloose. I am not getting up to dance. I will not have 50 drunk people try to dance behind me. That ain't happening. I thought, wow, I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
that's the hazard of the job right there. You
Yeah,
know, like having to deal with that that's a different perspective. Like, seriously, you go to a wedding and it's like the most commonly played wedding song, and you're
yeah,
the dude. People
yeah,
are gonna want you to do it. This is their once in a lifetime moment. Fuck it that you've done it like 100 times. Excuse my language. You know, that
exactly.
you've done it like 1,000 times. I don't care about that. It's my once in a lifetime moment. You're gonna get up there and you're gonna, cut loose.
Yeah, but and I think about poor Patrick Swayze. God
Oh,
rest. He got
oh God.
to a wedding. He would never get to go to a wedding. It's just
I
like,
bet you didn't even go to weddings. I bet you just had like a standard card. You should already know. Like, don't
yeah,
even
tell me that.
don't ask me to lift your bride. I don't want to lift your bride.
Not lifting anybody over my head and breaking my back. No, sorry.
Gosh, that is totally funny. You just never think of it like that. But yeah, that would be hard.
Oh, I know. And the Purple Rain itself, was such a what was an interesting movie for. Well, they say it was loosely based on his life story, but I'm sure it was probably mostly kind of based on his life story. To that
Yeah.
to that point, I mean, he had a very hectic lifestyle. His parents were, at each other all the time, and his dad was very, you know, the part that I think I like the most, and as many times as I've seen it, um, is when his dad's at the piano
Hmm.
and he's playing the song, and Prince is like, "What's that? That's like he's trying to give him a compliment and trying to interact with his dad. He's like, "You mean who wrote it? I wrote it," and it was just like that sounds like something my mom would have said to me if I would have asked
I
her.
know.
Need song.
I
Oh, that I did. It was like, I don't
wrote it.
I don't know this about you. Why are you yelling at me? But to realize that that's where the talent stems from, and who knows what happened in his father's background that he never got a chance to share that with the rest of the world. But the soundtrack in itself is just. I remember playing it like over and over. And over.
I
I
remember too.
there, of course you don't. And then watching the movie and just being, it seemed a little disjointed, at first. Some of it was really good. I think the editing probably had something to do with that. Um,
Hmm.
but as far as the songs, I honestly don't think there's one song on the album that I don't. And it's not like today. Oh, kids, you don't skip
I
the sets. You
know, right?
all you do is you lift the needle up and you move it over to the next. But with a cassette, you gotta fast forward, stop, play. No, not yet. Fast forward, stop. Oh, too far. Rewind. So it was tedious. Now, it's just like I don't like this song. Skip. And
Mm,
I don't know. There was no skipping on the Purple Rain soundtrack. So to
that's part of that generation. I actually enjoy.
Footloose.
Skip, skip, skip,
Um,
skip.
was any like original? Other than Kenny Loggins, original stuff. But as far as it wasn't like Prince. It was like all Prince all the time. Footloose was like
Yeah.
pop songs of that time. That were popular and being played on the radio. So it was kind of like, this is great. I know this stuff. You know, and
Mm.
but yeah, both of those are actually really, really excellent choices. However,
However.
the one I want to talk about,
Mhm.
my favorite movie of all.
Ooh.
No,
What?
you know, I talk about that.
What, your favorite movie of all time?
No, yours.
Mine?
When you were a child.
Oh, The Little Man. Oh, yeah.
Does
That was
that?
every little girl of my age's favorite,
I know.
probably.
Yeah. Do you think was that really 1989 or was that 1992? Are you in front of your phone? You look.
I
Yes,
am.
we're not being hard asses. We're actually looking for our
Mm,
searching it because we're my brain doesn't work like that. But I thought it was 1989.
I
Hmm.
have a brain. Yeah, it is 1989.
Okay, so it counts. And
Yes,
even
it does.
if it would
Oh,
still
trust me, I know all of that soundtrack.
go. And there's a lot of really good songs in there. And
Really?
just to be able to, I remember the first time I heard Ursula,
Oh,
late
yes.
with Ursula, and I thought, man, that's a villain song if I ever heard one. But it was kind of like when you watch Tangled and the mother or stepmother, or was she her mother that
It's not her mother. She kidnapped her, so it's her captor.
her captor, but she's making it like she's her mother.
Yeah, she's trying to pretend to be mommy.
You
Mommy
know,
dearest.
you're not you're not anything without me. You couldn't, tie your shoes or whatever. And it's just, just barraging her with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, you compare that to Ursula, and she's just like, who knows what I do for people? You think I'm a terrible person? Yes, you are. Yes,
I know, right?
you give people what they want, and it's not always the best thing for them. But uh, so so here we are. Fast forward 2022. What
Mm-hmm.
do you feel about the new Ariel that's coming out? It's next year, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm an older millennial, so I don't care for change. I don't really like live action, probably because of what it brings to the table, which is diversity. Cartoons are always best to depict everybody because, no one's purple. So you
No.
kind of have to look at their personality, not their skin tone or what they look like. They're always something a little bit different. So I think when you transition it into a live person, it always it kind of puts a damper on the movie a little bit because everybody's just kind of focusing on that instead of the actual story of the Little Mermaid, which we all love and adore. See, and that's why you make them cartoons and not live action because I could care less what Ariel looks like. I mean, it could be a, little boy for all I give a hoots, and because they could sing high too. It doesn't matter to me. I just like the story. I like the character. And I don't think you should focus on so much who plays the character. It's just whomever it is in your mind, your imagination, and stuff like that. So, uh,
At the end
if
of the
that
day,
answered anything, I
oh,
think
it answered a
I
lot.
think the movie's gonna get lost into the controversy, and nobody's really going to see it for what it really is. And it should just be, someone's interpretation of a great story, and it just be that and nothing more. But of course, it's 2022. It's always more.
Well, yeah, and I think now
Layers.
everyone wants their own say, and my take on it is, at the end of the day, hello, it's a fictional character, you know. Why?
Well, okay, I understand. They're like, okay, I want my kids to see themselves on television. Okay, I am what I hilariously call myself triracial, which is three or more races. And I'm probably going to have to wait till I'm dead to see anybody who looks like me on Disney. Okay. So it's like, it's a little ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I'm never going to see anybody like me, little, chubby, short haired little girl that I was at that age. You know what I mean? It's just, I was perfectly fine with that because I had an imagination and
Yeah,
I never looked at, skin anyway. I couldn't really because once you're all of them, it's like meh. It's like I just
yeah.
dumped all the colors into the one pot and I mixed them all together. That's what everybody else does too. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like I've
it's
never fixated on anything like that because it's just like it's kind of silly. I see me, so I think that's what people need to focus on more than what they see on television. They need to see themselves and then
yeah,
present yourself.
exactly.
Present yourself and put yourself where you want to be. And
And
I think that's a little more important to me anyway. So
and I
fantasy world somewhere far, far away.
exactly, and that's why I wanted your perspective on it, because I just figure, like I said, it's in the essence of everything that's been going on within the last couple of years. You know, shall we reiterate, poor Rodney King? Can't we just all get along? Really? I
That
mean,
hurts home. Trust me, I adored that man for so many reasons
yeah,
because he got a raw A deal.
he
Raw
did.
A deal. He got in life, in the situation, in the aftermath, in his passing, which was, tragic in itself. It was just a
Yeah,
raw deal for one person to carry that much on their shoulders for their as long as he had to. It's amazing. I'll
it's
tell you that.
tragic and hurtful. And it just, it makes me sad that it continues to this day. It just, when does it ever stop? I don't think anyone should lord over other people, if, just in general, first of all, why can't we all walk side by side, and
We're all just people because
world, the thing, everybody's holding hands on a mountain, and all of that. And they've
I know, right?
all the cultures, all the lifestyles, everybody, everybody, everybody does it,
And
but
yeah,
it makes
because
you,
people brings up, it's not just, I don't think, the skin, it's the culture.
oh, I
It's
know.
more so than anything else. And I wish people enjoyed everybody's culture because everybody's culture is awesome. And,
Mhm.
we should all just be dipping in all that new ways to look at things and new ways to do things and stuff like that. Like, who wants to be the same old, same old, same old, same old?
Oh, I don't know. Not me, that's for sure.
I know,
Uh,
right?
so so thank you for that. I wanted to make sure, I got a different perspective. I had heard that, there was a lot of controversy behind that. Uh,
Yeah, so it takes the joy away from such a wonderful movie.
yeah, but then there is joy in it, because then you see, the culture that it represents, and you see all the little girls, and how they're like, oh, she's black, she looks like me, and it's just like every mermaid that I have ever seen, ever since Ariel came out, Disney, thank you so much for this. Not a compliment, by the way.
Yeah,
Every mermaid that I've ever seen depicted in just pop culture, animated culture, whatever, video game, red hair, beautiful red hair. I'm like, but is that the only color hair that you get in the ocean? Is that all the chlorine or the salt or what the hell
yeah,
happened?
it bleaches it really bad.
I've never seen any. You see the blonde ones. You do see some of the blonde. You do see.
Some,
But they're sisters. Their sisters didn't look anything like her. So they had dark hair and they had blonde hair, and it was just like, but not taking away from any of that, and just bringing it to a point,
yes,
is that you set a precedent for these things. When you have an entity that's popular and it is, you push to the forefront and you go, oh, this is great. Look at how long we suffered with those damn chipmunks. And please do not make another chipmunk movie. I didn't like them when they were popular. I didn't like them when they were in my time because they come from the '60s. I don't know if you people know that or not. Can we be done?
what?
Can we
What
be
shit are you talking about?
Oh, Alvin and the Chipmunk. I'm not talking.
Alvin and Chipmunk?
I'm not
Oh,
talking about Rescue Rangers.
I was gonna say, we better not be dissing no Chippendale. I
Not just the
think Alvin is annoying.
made Chip and Dale happen. Okay, somebody gave them a personality. It's like, here's some chipmunks that actually could do shit. Yeah,
I know, right?
yeah.
I mean,
But
they were good for their time, you know. They were.
of course, they were a one-off. They should have been a one-hit wonder with the whole Christmas song and all of that, and they were done. Why somebody thought that uh, they needed to come back more than once. I don't know. And girls in there too. Anyway, but that's a whole different conversation. So see, I can hate on a fictional character too. So there you go.
There you go.
How's that for controversy?
There you go. That's what you should do.
It's a two-way street. How's that? But yeah. So thank you for your opinion. I do appreciate that. And I think it's going to be divided pretty much down the middle. I do want to see it just to see how they did it, and if they did the same. Because I never saw the second Aladdin. I didn't see the Will
I
Smith.
never seen any of the live action ones because. Uh,
I did see the live action Beauty and the Beast though, and I really like that one.
okay, I'm not gonna lie. I really like it. Because that was actually, I mean, yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like uh, seeing, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you have Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
and that's a great story from like 200 years ago,
Or more.
right? Or more, depending on, if you actually know when that shit was written. But it's like for me, it's like I don't know. It hasn't been long enough for me to want to see it done over again. So I mean, it wasn't that great of a story. to like remake, like the Lion King and all these other, redos of these Disneys. It's like, yeah, I like the first one just fine. I didn't need to see it, you know, in real life. Like
But I
that's
hear,
not
having said,
appealing.
how long has it been on Broadway now? The
But
Lion The Lion King has been on
yeah,
Broadway for,
for a very long time.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, if it was the Broadway version of Lion King, I'd be all on it. But it's like, they still had to like, CGI all the animals and stuff like that. So it wasn't really,
Yeah. There's no
it
way.
didn't really make sense to me. So I don't know. It's like, you're still having to use some form of animation for the movie. How is it live action? Okay. You just redid the dang movie. Okay.
Just, okay, so here's this thing. You just triggered something in my head from my childhood. Okay, so there was this show on TV called Doctari. Okay. It was about these scientists and everything and environmentalists or whatever these people were in Africa, doing their thing and whatnot. And there was a lion in it called Clarence. And Clarence,
Hmm.
cross-eyed lion. I can't remember what his character name was, but every so often he would walk on the set, he'd get in a shot, sit around, look at people, and then they would talk to him, and then he'd leave. You don't do that anymore. I mean, I'm sure you can if you've got wranglers out there that are willing to say, okay, here's your mark, stand,
Hmm.
and hope to God that what is it, the thing that they gave the tranquilizer doesn't wear off because yikes. But and people thought that was controversial back then. They didn't think anything about the monkeys that they added to Tarzan. Because monkeys, but this is a lion, he could eat somebody.
Monkeys are chimpanzees are dangerous. Okay. They are not cute. They are not cuddly. They will rip your face off. Okay. I don't know how anybody had the go hands to freaking work with those things. They're terrifying.
You know,
Terrifying.
yes, they're actually in the movie Nope that Emma and I went to go see. There is a backstory to one of the characters there, and it was involving a chimp.
Oh
And
yeah. For a short while as a child, I was obsessed with animals that have like gone wrong or whatever, like circus animals
yeah,
that had was like notoriously killers or something like that. Especially elephants. Oh, don't even get me started on elephants. They will trample you.
yeah,
Something good.
I'll have to get
Like
into that story one day. 'Cause there's
I
like,
know, right? But it's just like animals are not here for our amusement, okay? They will kill you.
oh, yeah. And then, according to
That's
the,
why they're cartoons and not live. Okay?
you got
Because if Ariel was real, I bet you anything she'd be rabid. Throwing that out there.
to, ah, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff going on under the ocean a lot of people don't know about. But it's just,
Oh.
it's just so, I get it. I know they're cute and cuddly, and we understand all that. However, they're still wild. They're still animals. They're still wild. Have the mentality of, no matter how
Natural instincts.
domesticated a wild animal, mm, don't work like that. But yeah, so yeah, no, there's not going to be any wild animals in movies to them. It's degrading to them. I remember Mr. Ed when I was a kid, the talking horse, the show Mr. Ed. And
Yes.
somebody told me they had to inject things in his anus to get his lips to move like that. I don't know if it's just
Boom.
an urban legend, but
I hope so.
oh, why? Why would you want to? Why would you even think of doing something like that? And it could, like I
That
said,
poor horse.
anybody out there who's older than me that actually knows the truth,
Oh,
feel
goodness gracious.
put that one in the comments because it's just not, it's not necessary. I think we know a lot more now than they did back then, but it needs to be, the knowledge needs to be there. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
depict animals in movies. Absolutely depict animals in movies, even if you have to like cut and then the animal is in the zoo, and then and don't get me started on zoos because I'm anti-zoo. So yeah,
As am I. So don't worry.
hopefully we'll get around to talking about AIDS.
I'm also anti-circus as well. So.
Oh, geez, yeah. Mm. Although the one time that I actually did go to the circus with you and your brothers and grandma, your mom, dad's mom,
Not my mom. You're my mom.
yeah, mommy. We went to go and we rode the elephant. Remember that? Do you remember being at that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
flew. That elephant could have just knocked us out of the universe. Just
And the
packed
fact that he's riddled with tuberculosis.
me. I was petrified, thinking, okay, yeah, this is way
He's
too
huge.
huge. They're gigantic. They're the size of build.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, so cool. So we've got what's your favorite uh song from the Purple Rain movie?
Oh, of
Album.
course. The song.
Purple Rain. Okay.
Well, yeah, because okay, not only was Prince a great vocalist, but he was I want to say, like one of the best musicians
Oh,
of all time. He knew how to play everything, and he did.
and he
And
did.
his personality. He was just like, oh, I'm not gonna just do one. I do them all. And he did that with just music, women, and
Yeah.
and instruments. Okay, like that's the
And
thing. I'm not gonna just do one. I'm gonna do them all. And just listening to him play anything, and because not only did you feel it, he's feeling it. You know what I mean? Like you can have people play the guitar and they're just and it's like same old same, but when he plays it, every time he plays it, he's feeling him, he's feeling that guitar, he's feeling that, you know, every note, and you're just along for the ride with it. It's just like it just translates through, from his body into you know, into your brain. It's just the
yeah,
experience.
when it comes from the soul, you can tell.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And
I have
like
a
every time, not just one time, but just like every
oh
time,
wow, that's far. I remember going to see Johnny Lang with Willie at I think it was at the EQC. That child just stood on stage and played the guitar and sang. I don't even think he opened his eyes once because he was just so into what he was doing. The time just flew by for him. And he's an amazing blues guitarist. I think he's been
Mm-hmm.
playing forever. And then he gets
So
invited.
whose idea was it to go that?
Yeah, and then he gets invited to go out on tour with Eric Clapton and BB King and people like that. And it's just like, can you imagine the opportunity to be 15 years old and somebody going, "Hey, I like what you're throwing down. Let's go on tour. Let's make some people, appreciate our music," which didn't take much because
Yeah, for sure.
stellar legends in themselves, with Stevie Ray Vaughan and people like that. And although I wasn't sure if he was part of that, but Bonnie Raitt, just you think of the amazing blues artist in the past, and you catapult that forward into today's music, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, so to be able to have that ability, like Prince did, with the music lived inside of him, to tell, and those people are the ones that you can count on for greatness, because
Yes.
they won't stop until it is, you know. And the fact that he had so many songs that he'd left unpublished in a vault because, you know, musicians are kind of like their own worst enemy. It's just like, okay, everybody, do I like that? I don't like that. I know I said I liked it at first, but now I don't. So it's just like we push that off to the side, and then somehow they know after being in the business for so long, this is what I want to release now. This is what I want to release. And then who's to say, like, we'll go and open up something and be like, oh my God, this is the greatest song ever. And somehow
I
you
know, right?
yeah, somehow you didn't like that. Okay. Well, yeah, obviously, Prince knows best. So just like most of the other musicians that are out there that have that ability to be able to call the shots for themselves, and we appreciate them for it. And the legacy that they left us,
Mm-hmm.
tremendous, just a tremendous thing. So having talked about that, and then Footloose, of course.
It'd be your turn now, yeah?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put on the playlist. I guess I'll pick a couple of songs from each soundtrack because I liked my favorite. There's two of them from Purple Rain. Let's Go Crazy. There's from
Yes.
The Given. Let's Go Crazy, and I Would Die for You. And that I just like the habit. Not to love, not to pray. It's just like bam, 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 bam. I would die for you. Oh, it's just like anyway. I don't know if to cover that, but they were playing the club or anything. Definitely gonna lose my cornflakes. But
Haha.
that's a great song. But and Footloose, of course, is just what it is. It's Footloose. So it's just iconic, and how could you not love it? And if you don't love it,
You're
mm,
weirdo.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, But one of my favorite movies in the '80s, I had quite a few. Uh, The Lost Boys. Lost Boys soundtrack is phenomenal and amazing. To this day, I still listen to bits and pieces of it. There's a couple of them in there that I kind of go, no. Um, but that's always an excellent soundtrack to listen to. However, one of the more obscure movies of the '80s. I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there. Every time I think something's obscure, somebody comes up with, "Hey, did you see?" Like, yeah, like 30 years ago. But the movie Hiding Out with John Cryer, he was just coming off of his triumphant role in Pretty in Pink as Ducky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was another movie in the middle of that, and then he did Hiding Out. And the premise behind the movie is John Cryer is a Wall Street whiz kid. Um, and he finds out that him and his partner find out that they've been set up to launder money for an unscrupulous client, and they decide not to do it. And then, unfortunately, with everything that has transpired over that time, his friends get killed, and this guy comes after them. And so what happened was he takes off and he's like running and he decides to go back home wherever it is he lives. And I still to this day can't remember what it was. But he, in order for him to really hide in his own town, he goes back to high school. He cuts his hair and shaves off his beard. Of course, he looks like he's an 18-year-old. And
I
he's
think I
actually,
faintly recall this. It sounds familiar.
yeah, I watched it like at least every week. And
Yeah.
there is, he runs into, well, he goes back to his cousin, who's, can't remember last name's Klugen. Um, but he goes back to his cousin, and they're both in high school together. And of course, cousin is actually 18 and he's not. So, yeah, it's just the hilarity ensues, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Track behind this. It's a mixture of different things that I don't know. When I first started listening to it, and I was watching the movie and I'm listening to the soundtrack, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know who that is. Well, there's a movie called, sorry, there's a song called Seattle that's done by a group called Public Limited, Public Image Limited. Sorry, that's a mouthful. But
Yes.
the lead singer is Johnny Lydon from the Sex Pistols. So he broke off
Oh.
and made his own group and created a song called Seattle. And I'm thinking, oh, what do you know? Wouldn't have thought of that. So that's a good song. If anybody's sorry, I screwed the name of the band up, but it's kind of mouthy. Um,
Yes.
and then there's Boy George is on it, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the song, but I will put it in the playlist. And then there's a huge duet collaboration with Roy Orbison and Katie Lang on his song Crying. And that's the song that I fell in love with because of the amount of heartfelt sentiment. The song was amazing already in itself. But then when you add Katie Lang's beautiful vocals, alongside of it, it's just, and then the harmony, it's like, man, it's just phenomenal. And if you haven't heard it, you've got to listen to it because it's amazing. And there's a part in there when they put it in the movie where Elizabeth Gish and John Cryer are skating. He didn't want to go roller skating, but she took him anyway. And then that's the slow dance skater song. And you could see that they actually have feelings for each other and they're starting to fall in love. But then you think about the age gap. And you're like, hello. I,
It's no bueno.
it, he knows about it. He knows, and he's trying, to be, respectful and everything. And you can see he's struggling. But of course, later on, they end up meeting up, and she's already in college by this time, and then it can happen then. The relationship can happen then because she's older now. But I haven't seen a movie like that since. I haven't seen. I've seen. I mean, we've seen you know, what would happen if I was 20 and you were 40, kind of a thing, the whole age trip different, everybody's
Yeah.
Friday did it, started off with it, then everybody ran with it. Dudley Moore did it with Kirk Cameron, I think, and 13 going on 30, they did with that one. So, but to actually have, something like that that's
Mm-hmm.
poignant and funny at the same time, because this kid is like afraid for his life, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's not, it is funny. It's not a dark comedy, but it is a comedy because, first of all, he gets his name that when he's being, this is part of the movie. Sorry, I can't help it. It's part of the movie where the school secretary's interview, ask him questions about, this transfer from school, and she's like, yeah, name. He's like, name. Oh, my name. And he looks behind her and he sees this can of Maxwell House coffee, and he goes, Max. His last name, Hauser. Max Hauser. Goes, okay. School you're transferring for? He said, Cornell. She looks at him and he goes, high school in Texas. Transfers could take weeks. She goes, everything takes weeks. Like, quick, take it. Cornell High School. He's not, no, it's Cornell University.
I know, right? That's funny.
Yeah, so that's a good one. If anybody out there has seen it, please put it in the comments. Drop that in there if you've heard the soundtrack. There's lots of other great songs in there. Hue and Cry, I Refuse. That is just great. I wish I could rattle them all off the top of my head, but I will put on the top three that I mentioned. Boy George one and Seattle, and of course, Crying, the duo, collaboration, whatever they call it these days.
Duets.
Duets, yes. Cool duo collaborates.
Duo collaborates.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool. So, do you have anything else to add to the podcast? Do you have any parting words or anything?
Oh, not really.
Not really.
Okay.
Do we want to? Okay, so we're gonna do the who you are, where you're from. We're gonna do the where you are on social media, and then we're gonna plug the next podcast. So should be good.
Fun times.
Because we still haven't posted the first one yet. I know you're all waiting for the first one, and
I know. I've been waiting.
I know the queen of procrastination here. But I did have some issues with the video, so it's just going to be audio for that one. But it's still a great podcast. So, and we may have a blooper reel as well. I think we will. I know it's always like, what blooper reel about? We just have to wait. So, Miss Lisamarie, where are you on social media?
Hi, you can find me on Instagram and the Facebook at the one and only Lisamarie or Lady Marie
Yeah.
84. Talking my 80s.
Yeah. I can't stress enough the that you need to get over there and check out. This young lady has just an amazing wit and sense of humor. It just bores me every time I read something that she does. And it's just like I always like to say, where did she get that from? And it's not. It really isn't me, honestly, because she can go for the.
I really don't know either, to be honest.
I think it's great, and I know you're talking about the going, that's my girl. I did that. You give me credit for that, damn it.
Yeah,
But
this is all you.
if anybody knows me, I wasn't allowed to have a sense of humor when I was growing up. I was considered a smartass. Still,
Oh.
hey, what can I say? On the internet, I am 80s Music Girl on Facebook fan page. I am my regular person on Facebook as well, but the 80s Music Girl fan page is there. Twitter is 80s Music Girl. I have an 80s Music Girl Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but don't really promote that because that's maybe going bye bye. So I'm kind of burnt out, believe it or not. All the crazy people that are on TikTok, I'm just like, yeah, see ya, bye. So, I'm just intimidated. I can't rise to the lofty level.
I'm not even gonna go there. I don't think TikTok's ready for anything that I got. I'd
Oh,
be
that's
banned and censored.
amazing. Yeah, it'd be like the top 10 Lisa Marie videos that you're not ready for.
Everybody's ready for these opinions. That's why I keep them to myself.
All right, everyone. We want to thank you for joining us at episode 2. We look forward to you next week
Yeah.
because we have the master of rap himself, Beta Ray, Tycoon Will, however you want to spin it. And he's going to be talking about one of his favorite artists, Weird Al Yankovic. All right. Weird
His
Al.
favorite art, yeah. One of the artists that he made everybody listen to.
I noticed him first. Anyway. So.
Oh, so that's all your fault, huh? Okay.
That's my fault. Totally take credit
Why?
for it.
Why I
So
can never sing My Sharona ever again the way it's supposed to be sung, okay?
I can't ever sing any of the songs that
None of them, okay? Eat it, beat it, not even a thing, okay? Michael Jackson didn't make that song. It's always forever.
and it's so funny because it's not about the Benjamins. It's about Penny. And if I don't know the lyrics to the original song, I will sing the Weird Al lyrics. I don't care. I have no problem. I have no miss.
No shame.
White and nerdy. Anyway.
More next week.
We thank you so much. It's 80s Music Girl,
The one and only Lisa Marie.
and we thank you for joining us today. Bye bye.
That's all.